So now we're facing a really hard truth. AI, with its current costs, it's not commercially viable. So people and pundits are often speculating that AI is dead in the water. The costs are going to exceed what the market can bear. We don't have a future in this. I know everyone here doesn't actually believe that. But if you look at this, OpenAI's recent 80% price reduction may be evidence that the market can't actually bear these high costs. So we need to do something about this. But what we need is smarter infrastructure, we need smarter economics, and we need it now. In the old world, you trained a model once, you deployed it, inference was predictable. But now reasoning models are volatile. The cost per query can vary wildly, and you're not just paying for output, you're paying for depth of thought. And that is creating a budgetary chaos for teams everywhere. So this brings up something we like to call the AI Economics Triad. It's accuracy, cost, and latency. Accuracy, non-negotiable. You cannot return a half-right answer. If you ask ChatGPT, where's Fort Mason, and they send you to Ocean Beach, you're never going to use that again. Then we have latency. Latency is not just about slowing things down. Latency actually breaks the experience. Latency ruins that illusion of intelligence. So who here is old enough to remember dial-up? I like to pretend I'm not, but unfortunately I do. So in the old days of dial-up, if you remember, you'd go online, you'd sit there, and you would get that waiting. You'd go, you'd get a glass of water, you'd come back, you'd be connected to the internet. That was totally normal. That was fine. Now, you jump online, you have broadband, you connect instantly. This is what we're experiencing right now. Imagine if your users would sit there and they have one option to sit and wait and one where they get their response instantly. Who would you choose? Do you want to go back to dial-up or do you like broadband? I hope you like broadband. So right now, your users that have that delay, that's starting to erode trust. They're sitting there going, is this working? And even more, at least when we had dial-up, we had that noise to tell us something was moving. With latency, it's just sitting there. And it's starting to break the experience for your users, and it's starting to ruin the illusion of intelligence. It's not just about milliseconds anymore. This is about momentum. And in agentic systems, hesitation feels like failure. Your users don't want to wait around until your model eventually catches up. And cost. Cost is the lever most of us are trying to pull. But here's the thing, cost is just a symptom. So how do we fix all of this? I want to look at the three major factors shaping the moment that we're in today. First, we have agentic AI. This is long-running memory-based systems that carry context across sessions. I love agentic AI. Who here is building their own models? Who's here is secretly building models for the day-to-day work that they're doing? I'll let you in on a secret. I train a model at work that basically is a virtual version of me that I go to all the time to give me some extra bandwidth. And then I think about that from an infrastructure perspective, how expensive it must be for the LLM I'm using to store a virtual Lauren. It is incredibly powerful having this technology, but it's really resource intensive. And I don't think the economics of what they're charging me is really actually probably worth it for them. Second, we have elastic compute. So when DeepSeek came out, it was mind-blowing. Does anyone here remember when DeepSeek came out and totally appended the costs behind LLMs? I was like, this is insane. They have broken one of the truths that we thought was real, that this had to be expensive. But the thing with DeepSeek's approach, it was using elastic computing models, and what they did was radical. They combined inference and training on the same infrastructure. So during the day, their GPU capacity was running for inference. And then at night, when demand dipped, switched over to training, just like that. And what DeepSeek did wasn't purely innovative. It was an economic necessity. And their economic necessity was turned into a competitive advantage. And most organizations don't have separate stacks for inferencing and for training. So in doing this, by putting inferencing and training on the same stack, by flipping from one to the other, DeepSeek showed us something that for me was one of the most important things. It proved something that everyone else thought was impossible. Sustainable innovation, it's a design problem, not a funding problem. Third is a fundamental shift that we are seeing everywhere. We're moving away from queries per second and replacing it with metrics that actually matter. We're looking at cost per token and time to first token, or TTFT. Because why are we doing this? Not all queries are created equal. One user prompt might cost you 5 cents to process. Another one might cost you $5. That quick query saying, how do I get to Fort Mason, is a lot easier and a lot faster and a lot cheaper to run when I build a 30 prompt question asking it to plan my entire trip to South America. But right now, we're counting this as the exact same thing. So time to first token. What is time to first token and why does it really matter? It's that first signal that your system is actually alive. It's real. It's the moment you're building trust, you're building engagement. And like we talked about before, if it's slow, it's unpredictable, whole experience starts to break down. But here's a better way to think about this. Okay, I want everyone here to take a second. Imagine you're running a restaurant. So you're running a restaurant. The only thing you care about is how many dishes are coming out. But the reality is, one dish takes you about 5 minutes, costs you $10 to make. The other one takes 45 minutes, costs you $100 to make. If your only metric is how many meals you're getting out the door, do you know what you're not understanding? Are your customers happy? Is your business economically viable? That's the way we're looking at AI right now. We're looking at the wrong metrics. We're looking at metrics that tell you nothing about value, about profitability. So we need better instruments. We need more precise measurements because it's not just about throughput, it's about unit economics.